We've seen some amazing things, but that, my friends, is something we've never seen.
Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Brandon wants advice.
Brandon Cruz wants advice. You have locked yourself into the playoffs.
Nice.
Got it.
Talk with old Brandon Cruz wants advice.
Completely speechless, to say the least.
Man, I am honestly so baffled by that decision. Brandon Cruz wants advice. It's Brandon wants advice.
Green flag in the air. Brandon Cruz wants advice to the front.
How are you guys doing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? This is the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast. I'm going to try and get over this real fast because I have no idea how long this is going to be. So this is my preseason NFL Week 1 video. The way it's going to work is I'm going to look at all 11 games on the main slates on FanDuel and DraftKings. I'm going to go over each team and each game and then just move on next one. So for example, I'm going to start with the New York Giants and the New York Jets game, and then I'm going to just go over them, go to the Indianapolis and Buffalo game, and continue so on and so forth. Now, guys, this is preseason. I am recording this Wednesday at 5 p.m., so if anything happens between now and tomorrow, keep that in your mind. It's preseason football, guys. A lot of things can change. Nobody is really golden or written into a situation where they're gonna get a whole lot of snaps or play time. But there are some diamonds in the rough. There are some guys that are looking like they're gonna play quite a bit tomorrow. So let's get right into it. First off, guys, also follow me on Twitter. Help me out on Patreon if you'd like to see more of this stuff. The reason I'm saying that now is because if I don't get a good amount of views on this video, I'm not going to say how much it is, but if I don't get a good amount of views, there's no way in hell I'm making another one of these videos for the remainder of preseason, because this shit takes a lot of fucking research for these dumbasses, and I have to do a lot of rating for like these fucking fourth string, third string, fourth backup people. Like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, let's get right into it. Starting with the New York Jets playing the New York Giants. Well, will Le'Veon Bell play? I don't believe so. At the time of this recording, haven't seen anything indicating that Le'Veon Bell will play. If that's the case, let's just not play Bell. You know what I'm saying? Let's not go there. New York Jets have a tight end battle currently right now between Daniel Brown and Trayvon Wesco. And listen, when I say is a guy I'm interested in, there's 22 teams playing. I'm going to say I'm interested in a lot of people. I'm only making one lineup for tomorrow's preseason game, but I'm at least going to tell you who is worth playing. So Trevin Wesco is the first guy that I'm quote-unquote interested in, that I would look at as being someone that you can play for the New York Jets. So typically, Adam Gase, the way he coaches is the first game, his quote-unquote starters will play the first quarter, and then the second game, his starters will play the second half. So next week, I would expect to see possibly Le'Veon Bell maybe play there, Darnold and all them playing the first quarter, or the first half next week. This week is not one of those quarterbacks that the New York Jets will be playing. We got Luke Falk, and Davis Webb. Falk should be the main guy. He should get 2 quarters in this game tomorrow. Players to watch: Tim White. He's a wide receiver. He's the other guy that I would probably look at playing and actually considering. And then you got other players. I mean, Blake Cashman on the defensive side, Tyrone Brown, Derek Jones. But the 3 guys on the New York Jets team that I would look at in this game would be Travis Wesco, the blocking tight end. Now, he is blocking. He's the main blocking tight end, showing that in training camp right now. But he's going to be on the field the most tomorrow out of the tight ends that are battling. Luke as the quarterback and Tim White as the wide receiver. Now switching sides, looking at the New York Giants. Also, after looking after all this information, I don't know if you can hear all these stupid ass papers. Some teams actually care, or let me change that. Some beat reporters, some writers, some team reporters and stuff care about their teams. Others don't, and you can very quickly tell who don't give a fuck about their team by how much information is out there related to some of the teams. Like, for example, Carolina Can't really find shit on them. Jacksonville can't find jack shit on them, and the Giants can't find jack shit on them because no one fucking writes at all. So the information is a bit sucky. But Daniel Jones will most likely play and be in early, probably starting on the third position or the second quarter. Eli Manning will. Eli should play the first 2 drives of the game. Barkley should not play, and that's mainly in the quarterback department. I would look at Daniel Jones to see your first good little indication of how he's going to play. Undrafted free agents that I'm looking at, and then I want to see how they're going to play. We got another tight end, C.J. Conrad. Wide receiver Reggie White Jr., who is currently in a battle to try and make the roster, and Alonzo Russell, another wide receiver that is in the hunt for making the team. Running backs that we're looking at, the main running back that I would consider playing would be Wayne Galliman. He should get the most, at least play time right now. He's the third string running back behind Rod Smith and Barkley, and then you got Paul Perkins and John Hillman. These guys are currently trying to fight their way into the third string position for the running back. So between, like I said, you got C.J. Conrad, Reggie White Jr., and Wayne Galliman for the Giants that I would look at. I'm not here to tell you who's going to win this game. I'm just telling you players that I would consider looking at. Indianapolis, moving on to the Indianapolis at Buffalo game. Marlon Mack will not see time. Quarterback Jacoby Brissett will play a quarter. Philip Walker and Chad Kelly will split interest. Chad Kelly I would be more interested in out of these individuals. Wide receiver Deion Kane will play at least a quarter. He's returning back from his ACL injury last year. A lot of juicy good stories surrounding Kane. A lot of people are writing about Kane this evening. Marcus Johnson is back after an injury as well, but Kane would be the person that I would have my eye on the most of those two. Now, the 2 running backs that I would look at, Foreman or Deontay, I can't pronounce these names. The guy they just signed from the guys that the Houston Texans just released yesterday, signed on. Foreman, he most likely will not play. At least not a whole lot for Indianapolis. That would leave oh man, I just can't. I see these right in my name. Nyheim Hines should have the starting position for the running back. Since Foreman is just here, I don't expect him to play, and there's really no one else other than Hines on this offensive team that I would look at playing. They want to move him to a more, I'm going to speak about Hines here. They want to move him into more of a rushing running back, although he's basically another receiver. But him being the only running back out there and Mack not playing, I would see Hines getting a huge workload this game to solidify him as being a backup to Mack. Wide receiver Paris Campbell, he missed 3 practices leading up to the game, but he should play tomorrow. He's another wide receiver that we would look at actually getting some throws his way, so Paris Campbell. And then the Bills offense, literally, I can't say a whole lot here. Info sucks here as well. First offense may play a bit longer than most teams might go through the first quarter, at least to the half of the second, depending on how many possessions they have. And then the running back that I'm interested in from the Bills is Devin Stingley-Terror. Stingley-Terry. He is a third-string running back. He's behind McCoy and Gore, but McCoy and Gore most likely will not play, at least not a whole lot in this game. They don't want to kill him. That's just how it's going to go. So Devin is trying to solidify himself into a third-string running back position for the Bills. So that's who I would look at on the Bills side of the ball. That's the only guy I'm looking at right now. So Chad Kelly, Deion Kane, Nyheim Hines, Paris Campbell, and Devin Stringaletti, I don't know, for the second game. Now the third game, Tennessee Titans at Philadelphia. Now they are, what is this? One drive from standards. What? Hold on. I can't even read my own notes right here. Give me 2 seconds to pause this. All right, I'm back. I can't read my own handwriting. In Tennessee Titans offense, there will be one drive from the starters in this race. That means Mariota son, as Andercuss calls it on Pat Mayo Experience, and all that type of stuff there. Now, in this team, I am just focusing on the running back because the fucking wide receiver is a fucking mess. All those idiots over there. The players who are at least going to be played, or at least people are looking at. No, never mind. These are players who won't play. So we got Jeffrey Simmons, Jarrell Carey, Janu Smith, Ryan Scope. They're on the PUB list. Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown most likely will not play. Ryan Tannehill and Logan Woodside will be splitting the snaps. Ryan Tannehill is probably going to be on there the most. I would have him as a guy that I'd probably be looking at to actually playing. And then Jeremy McNicholas, the running back, is another guy that I'm going to be focusing on. And you got to remember that at least the running backs are the most consistent guys you can look at on preseason football. You at least know that they're going to get their chances and everything there. So why am I looking at Jeremy McNicholas right here? Well, Henry, Deion Lewis, and Fuller are missing. They are going to be injured. They will not be playing. That leaves Jeremy as the only running back that Tennessee has right now, or not the only one that they have right now, but I think he's the one that's going to get the bulk of the starts, bulk of the carries in this game. And that's really all I want. I just want a consistent running back that I'm looking at. So Jeremy McNicholas for Tennessee Titans. Looking at the Philly side of the ball, we got Miles Sanders should get the most snaps out of the running backs. He is also going to be the kick returner for the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a lot of interest in him being on the team, making the roster at the end of the preseason. So you're going to they're going to be talking about Miles Sanders a lot tomorrow. And then Marquise Michael is a wide receiver that is making some heads turn in camp. He's the guy that I would look at as your wide receiver that I would target. Nate Sudfeld, Doug Peterson wants to have him get the most time as possible in the preseason. What does that tell me? If he wants to get him as much time as possible, he sounds like a solid quarterback to have tomorrow. Between him and Tannehill, those are two guys that I at least know are going to get some consistent time. I don't want some quarterback that's going to have one quarter to him and that's it, and they pass it off to some other guy. Let me get a drink right fast, and I'll continue on with the Washington and Cleveland game. All right, Washington. Alex Smith is going to start. Just kidding. Colt McCoy will not play as well. Alex Smith, Colt McCoy both injured. Obviously, Alex Smith pretty much a fucking career-ending injury. And McCoy still recovering from last year. So what does that leave us here? That leaves Case Keenum and Dwayne Haskins as the two quarterbacks in this game that we're going to be focusing at. They will both play, with the latter playing more, so Haskins will at least get probably 2 quarters, maybe 3 quarters, somewhere around there. Chase Keenum, we already know who he is. Haskins is the one everybody is interested in seeing how he plays. I would not be surprised if we saw him play at least 3 quarters. And as you can tell, some teams will play as many quarterbacks as possible. Others will just test out one. Rookie things of that nature. It's just how it goes in preseason. The wide receivers that I'm looking at for Washington, Terry McLaurin, Kevin Harmon, they are locked to make a team. Those two are the main 2 wide receivers that I would look at in the preseason. There's 7 other wide receivers for Washington trying to make the team. In that situation, I don't want anything to do with the wide receivers in this game because there's so many on the field. I don't know who they're going to funnel. So Dwayne Haskins is the only guy I would look at that's worth playing on the Washington side of the ball. Cleveland, Dontrell Howard, his snaps are going to be plentiful. Plentiful for the Cleveland Browns. What did Trump say when that porn star was suing him? He was like, I want the suit to be done in Texas, where the lawyer fees are plentiful. Dontrell's going to have snaps that are very, very plentiful because Duke Johnson is injured, and Nick Chubb. That's going to be dumb if they're not going to play Nick Chubb a whole lot. Things of that nature. So I'm looking at Dontrell Howard as snaps. He's going to be consistent, at least for this weekend. He'll be a guy that's going to get a lot of snaps. Now, the quarterback, that is most likely going to be the bulk of the Cleveland Browns offense tomorrow. Mayfield will be on the field, but probably not that long, probably 2 or 3 drives, that'll be it. I like Drew Stanton a lot as a previous Arizona Cardinal. I know how Drew Stanton plays. He's a good backup. No fooling. Drew is he's a very, very good backup. The 2 wide receivers that I would look at would be Strong and Wiley. Those are the only 2 wide receivers I think are worth actually looking at for the Cleveland side of the ball. Now moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars at Baltimore. That game, what a fucking snorefest, and what a good job, beat reporters, because I literally can't find a whole lot of shit for Jacksonville. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know. Obviously they got Nick Foles over there. Don't know how long he's going to play. And their backups are horrendous, so that's there. DJ Clark and Chris Conley, the only wide receivers that I would actually pay any attention to in the Jacksonville side of the ball. Now, on the Baltimore side of the ball, we got Jaleel Scott, a wide receiver, Seth Roberts, a wide receiver who is also turning heads in the training camp. Tracy McSorley will play most of the game for Baltimore. And Kenneth Dixon, the running back. Those are the guys that I would look at on the Baltimore side of the ball. As you can tell, I don't have as much info on these guys because people just don't fucking talk about them. Straight up, can't find a whole lot of shit on Twitter, on their fucking website, on the fucking reporter that covers them. Can't find a whole lot there. So, really, if I was going to target anyone, it'd probably be Seth Roberts and Trace McSorley on the Baltimore side of the ball. Now, in the New England and Detroit game, Jarrett Stidham, he's a 4th-round pick quarterback. He would be the guy that I would look at to get any time, or that's the only guy I would actually look at. Tom Brady will not play. Mr. Tommy the Tom Train will not play. We got Jacoby Myers, a wide receiver who's been having first-team reps during training camp. I expect him to be on the field. I expect a lot of targets going to Jacoby just to see if he has the stuff in an actual game. And then we got Nikhil Harry, I don't know. He's a wide receiver. He needs to prove stuff. They expect him to be on the field a lot in the preseason game because he is behind Jacoby Myers in the performance evaluation so far in camp, and Damon Harris is another guy I would look at. So really the only 2 guys that I would actually care about in this is Jarrett Stidham, the quarterback, and Jacoby Myers, the wide receiver for New England. On the Detroit side of the ball, we got T.J. Hawkinson. He's a tight end, but he is a receiving tight end. He's built like a wide receiver. They have been using him like a wide receiver. Look out for T.J. Travis Fungham. He's a wide receiver for Detroit, also having his fair share of targets in training camp, and I expect to try and replicate that in the preseason game tomorrow. And then Ty Johnson, running back, he's stupid fast, good at camp. The only 3 guys that I would look at on that Detroit side of the ball. In this game, really Jacoby Myers and probably T.J. Hawkinson. The only 2 guys I would look at from this game. Moving on to Atlanta at Miami. Now, Jones, Widley, Deion Jones, Khalib, McGarry, whatever. I wrote all these names stupid fast. And Matt Ryan, a majority of the starters, I think 7 out of the 9 out of the main, I think it's 7 out of the 10, 8 out of the 10 will not play. Matt Ryan will play, though. Matt Scubhu, or SC, whatever, the guy who played last week, who was fucking horrible before the other guy got injured on his foot. He is the only other quote-unquote good quarterback, but he needs to play good because Atlanta is not liking him. Matt Sims is another quarterback that should see playing time. He is a practice squad quarterback, and if I had to give a shit, I'd probably care more to Sims just because he's a more unknown than SCH, whatever that dude, Matt SCH. Brian Hill, obviously we saw Brian Hill score last week. I brought him up last week, and what do you know? He scored. I told you guys to go with him. He scored. If you didn't go with him, you didn't make any money. Sucks for you, but not for me because I won money off him. I think he'll carry some popularity from the people who watched the game last week, but he's still the running back that I would look at, and not really focus on Ito Smith or anything like that. Christian Blake and Sean Bain are 2 wide receivers that I would look at. And that's pretty much it. Those are the only guys that I see of value on the Atlanta side of the ball. And Miami, Fitzpatrick should start. I believe he'll go 2 drives, and then Rosen will play because they want to see how he's gonna do in this offense and the scheme and how he's doing. So, I'd kind of be interested in Rosen. I'll probably look and see how much they expect him to play tomorrow morning. And then Preston Williams, the only other guy on the Miami side of the ball that I would look at. So in this game, Brian Hills, Preston Williams, and Rosen, I guess, would be the only guys I would look at. Carolina, this is where it comes out to where I don't know what the fuck Ron Rivera is doing, because up until Tuesday, he was like, well, all 4 quarterbacks are going to play in this preseason game. Well, yesterday comes around and he's like, nah, you know what? Cam Newton's not going to play. Kyle Allen will start. Yeah, so I don't know really what's going on here. I at least like a team that's could at least tell you who's going to play. God damn it. So I don't have a whole lot of information here other than a wide receiver, Jaden Mickens. He's a punt returner. He's a wide receiver. He's doing well in training camp. They want to put him on the field as much as possible, so we'll look at him as the only guy that I would look at on the Carolina side of the ball here. Chicago, David Montgomery. I just like that last name because I can never pronounce it correctly. Emmanuel Hall, wide receiver. Riley Ridley, wide receiver. Running back, Ryan Nall, and tight end Bradley Sowell. The only guys I would look at on the Chicago side of the football in this game, Jaden Mickey's and Emmanuel Hall. The only 2 guys I would look at from this game here. Moving on to the Houston and Green Bay game. Quarterback A.J. McCarron could miss the whole preseason because yesterday at the end of practice he fucked his hand. I think he sprained his thumb or something. He had a severe sprain there. So AJ was going to play at least 2 quarters tomorrow. Now that he's not even in the fucking game, Joe Webb should fall into that, and he'll play at least 2 quarters, maybe a bit more, because I think there's only 2 quarterbacks on that team right now. Take away from Deshaun Watson. I think those are the only guys. But yeah, Joe Webb should play at least 2 quarters now. Now there's way too many. There's too many running backs on this team for me to care about using anyone, because we got Tywayne Jones or Tywayne, I don't know, Jones, Josh Ferguson, and many more. Those are the only 2 running backs that I would focus on. Green Bay, Robert Tonyan, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a blocking tight end, but they are loving him in camp. Aaron Rodgers likes him because he has a tight end that can at least cover for him. He can catch as well, but Robert should be on the field a lot, or Tonyan. Tonyan, tight end for Green Bay. Then we got Danny Vitale. He's a fullback that people are interested in. They want to put him out there more, and things of that nature. And then I believe wide receiver Jamon Moore. He needs to quote-unquote perform in preseason to remain on a team, so you can always look at those types of guys to do well. Yet again, the guys in this game I would look at would be Joe Webb, the quarterback for Houston, and then Robert Tonyan, the tight end for Green Bay. LA Chargers. Now, this is where I get pissed off as a fucking guy looking for stuff. If you're a reporter for a team and all you tweet about is like, preseason is here! The official depth chart is out for preseason! Preseason's here! And you don't post anything else, why the fuck are you hired by them? What are you doing? You're terrible. You are literally disgusting. Fuck you. I can't find shit on the Chargers other than the fucking running back situation there. I can't find jack shit on who's good, who's bad, what's doing what in fucking practice. Nah, not all the shit's dated from like a fucking week ago. I don't know what the fuck's going on entering tomorrow's game. So, fuck you, LA Chargers. I can't find anything on you. Arizona, Kyler Murray will play tomorrow. I think he will be the most owned quarterback in the GPP. Probably on both sites. Do that. I'm gonna fade him as a Cardinal fan. I want to see how he plays. I hope he plays well. It'll be nice. It's kind of cool actually having the Cardinals get talked about. Too bad I moved to Lubbock and now everybody's a fucking Cardinal fan just because Kingsbury is there. I think they're trying to get Crabtree. Although I heard that they didn't sign Crabtree. I got to check that after this. And then the two receivers that I would look at for the Arizona side of the ball is Keshawn Jackson and Isaac Zicko. They're making some plays with Kyler Murray in training camp. Those are the only three guys I would look at there. I'm going to try to actually avoid this game because I think it's going to be the most watched out of everything, and I'm going to just fade Kyler Murray. But I hope he still does well. Looking at the Denver and Seattle game, Flacco will play at least 2 drives. After that, Drew Lock should get the rest. We already saw last time how Drew Lock does, and I like Drew Lock. Yet again, same thing with Brian Hill. If you watched last week, you'll at least recognize that Drew Lock at least has some potential, and you might go with Drew Lock. So I expect him to have some ownership. And then the Muhammad running back, I can't pronounce his first name, so I'm just going to call him Khalifed, Mia Khalifa, however you want to look at it. He's the running back for Denver, and Nick Williams is the receiver that I would look at on that side of the ball. On the Seahawk side of the game, Geno Smith will start on quarterback, followed by Paxton Lynch. Don't know who I would go after on that. I believe they're going to play 2 quarters each. We'll just have to see how it goes. The wide receivers that I would look at from Seattle is Keenan Reynolds, John Ursa, and Terry White, and running back J.D. McKissick. Those guys that stand out to me. The players in this one that really stand out would be Drew Lock, Muhammad. Probably J.D. McKissick. Those would be the guys I would look at for preseason. Now, guys, I try to do that as fast as possible. I had to go through just a fucking lot of shit, a lot of articles. This took like 30 minutes to record. If you guys like this, guys, let me know. It took a lot of time and effort. I got a Patreon on the bottom. Help me out here. Show me that you at least like it. Guys, share it around, or don't share it around, whatever you want to do. Hopefully you win something off of these guys. I love preseason. I like watching people play and how the teams adjust and all that type of stuff. Not going over defenses because defenses are terrible. In preseason, every defense is fucking dog shit. I might look at Baltimore. If I had to pick a defense right now, looking at it, I like Baltimore just because I think Jacksonville's a fucking mess. I might go Miami and the Jets. I think that's where I would go defense-wise. I'll probably flip-flop a bit tomorrow when I'm making my lineup. But guys, that is my NFL Week 1 preseason special. Let me know what you think. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. And you guys have a fantastic day. Best of luck. Hope you guys win something. Thank you for listening. See you next time.